Hello and welcome to another Let's Draw. My name is Nikki and today we're doing another portrait. Today's portrait is Sultry Repose. It's got more fluffy hair for me to play with, and thankfully it's not like well rendered hair, like it's not a lot of detail in the hair, so I didn't have to worry about trying to draw those curls separately, you know. I did have some rendering issues with this final video. There is some of that, I don't know, that weird texture with the shading with the black and white that happened with a previous piece. It's not as bad in this one, so I'm okay with it. This one came out pretty good, I think. I had a lot of skin to paint, a lot of practice, you know. Again, it's black and white, so I don't have the struggle with the color as much, just the values. I really love the curls above her face, although I wasn't sure how I was going to pull it off in the end. The method I did eventually choose worked, I think, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. So now I'm doing the clean sketch here and getting those details ironed out. I did end up doing her lips like a little thicker than the reference. Like the upper lip is a little bit thicker than it should have been, but I was compensating for like the size of her face because I didn't really get the proportions of her face exactly right, so I was trying to make the lips fit into the space, so I ended up making them wider to kind of compensate. It's not too bad. I think it was fine. In the end, it overall looked pretty good. I always try to like catch as many issues and details at this point, you know, like I made the whole thing wider to fit the page, and like try to catch all the proportional issues at this point because it's so much harder to fix it after I've added color. I think anyways. I mean, in some instances it's easier to wait till I'm done painting completely to fix issues. Like I've done that with like fixing proportions, like using the liquify tool in Photoshop. That can be easier than fixing it from scratch, but between the two, like if I can fix it in the beginning, it's better off, because then I don't have to stare at the mistake the whole time that I'm painting. I mean, other than that, the other way you could fix it is to just like select the area, copy and paste it above, then adjust it, and then blend it into the background. And then that usually does it. But that method takes so much more effort. So I try to see if I can fix it before I get to that point. The pen tool and paint tool size saved my life for this little patch of clothes here, that little mesh thing. I just used the pen tool and paint tool size, which is so supremely helpful and made that process so much easier than it would have been. Like trying to get those lines perfectly straight, oh my goodness. So I was very happy for that. So yeah, as you can see, you can kind of see the delineation between the darks and lights right now. That's the problem that I talked about earlier at the top of this video. But it's not too bad. Like you can see it because I added a gradient. It's like supposed to be a slight gradient, and you don't really tell the difference between the shades that well in the in Paint Tool Sign, the original. So it didn't really look like this, but that way I was able to I did the gradient so that I could get like the darker body and the lighter face, because that's what the reference was showing, like the highlight on the face. So I thought that was a good idea to do that. I don't usually do that. I try to like do hard edges in the beginning and just block it in, but I was like, you know what, this gradient is so like obvious, I guess. It makes sense to just do a gradient with the soft brush instead of doing a hard edged blending and then blending later. But now we're doing the color blocking phase, and the color blocking of this one came out really nice. It was really quick too, because it was just the skin really, and the clothes didn't need any color blocking, the hair didn't need any color blocking at all, so it was really quick. The shading of this face I thought was really simple, and not simple easy, but simple basic. Like it wasn't a lot going on her face. There was enough contrast and highlighting, so I was able to get good value differences, and the shading could look good, but it was really like basic looking when I was done. There wasn't that much interest, I think is what I'm trying to say. It looked really basic. Like the lips kind of helped. I'm looking at the final piece now. The lips and the eyes kind of helped, or the eyelids. The eyes were really simple, but it came together, you know, and worked together in the end. But I feel like overall it was a pretty basic job. Like it looked basic, looked simple. There's this effect that I got on the eyelids of one of my past pieces that I really loved, where it was like I forgot actually to completely blend it out, and I tried to deliberately do that effect this time with her eyelids, and I thought it came out pretty cool. I do add a little bit more detailing to it. You'll see that later, but right now you can kind of see those hard edges between the two highlights on her right eyelid, and I tried to mimic that effect on the left eyelid later too. You'll see. But now we're onto the lips, and I was really happy with the lips. There's this like really hard edge at the top. I kind of made it a little harder. It looked a little bit thicker than the original, than the reference, I mean. But that's artistic license, right? I can do whatever I want. But I was happy with the finish of the lips, the shininess with the highlights. It was really nice. All right, so now we're doing the eyes. And like I said before, the eyes themselves were really simple. There wasn't really much to them, especially it's because it's black and white and her eyes are pretty much black in the image. But the eyelids, the detailing of the eyelids and around the eyes really helped bring the eyes alive, make the eyes look alive. So it worked. I think I made her eyes a little bit bigger than the reference. I think her whole face is a little wider than the original. I did stretch the image widthwise in the beginning because I thought mine was too narrow, but I may have stretched it a little too much. But yeah, my eyes are a little bit bigger as well. So I don't know. I don't think it detracts from it much at all. So I think it's fine. In the end, it looks okay. And I tried to get that little glary reflection on the bottom as well as the hard highlight at the top. I thought that looked really nice together. And at this point, I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of eyebrows. I'm starting to get an idea of what I like and how to accomplish it. You know, I'm getting a method. I feel like the eyebrow shape could use some work, but overall, like, I'm digging the eyebrows now. And now we're doing the body, and I thought this part was really satisfying. Again, like at the time of doing it, sometimes I feel like I don't really appreciate how satisfying this process is, but like looking back at it now, I'm like, wow, it just comes to life when you start to blend everything together. You're like, it's starting to look really good, especially because she's so bony and all these like little pits and little bumps that are like catching the light and getting some shadow, and it just looks so nice when you get it all together. I thought it came out pretty satisfying. It was fun to do. Now that this necklace was supposed to be like a chain around her neck, and I was like, I'm not gonna paint little individual chains, so I just did like this speckled brush effect on it and did some little highlighting with it and some shadows, and that was it. I did not spend too long on that. I did love how this earring came out, like, you know, doing the really bright spots in the middle of the shadows. From afar, it makes it look real. I thought it came out so cool. More learning. And now we're finally doing the hair. So here is the process I used for the hair. I started off with like one way, and then I went back and didn't like it, and then I ended up redoing some parts of it. But I did end up like painting individual strands because it was the only way that I liked it. I didn't like it when I was doing it just my hairbrush, the hairbrush that I normally use. So I did like those individual strands with this other brush. Yeah, see, I just got rid of that part completely. But yeah, that's basically it. Hope you like it. I really love the final product. Be sure to leave your comments, thoughts, ideas below in the comment section, and I look forward to meeting you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.